Mark, thank you for joining us for the latest edition of our Access All Areas Shots AAA. Well, you're obviously very well known for your exploits out there on the pitch behind us back in the day, but obviously now you've moved into your position as commercial manager. It's a busy life, isn't it, as I get to see every day. So what exactly does life entail as our commercial manager?
Yeah, so actually it's our busiest time, as you now know, Sam, because whilst everybody talks about, the first team players are off at the moment, there is renewals that need to be around the pitch. But generally speaking, there are over 30 individual lines that we need to sell and hit targets on. And the job is a sales job. I was in sales, actually, when I left Aldershot Football Club, selling air filters in London. So I've got a sales background. I think I was picked because I know the club and the sales background, so that helps. But like I said to you, there's over 30 lines to sell, and I've got to hit targets. There are targets that are set to me by the club, and those targets need to be met. And obviously there are profit margins that need to be hit. So that's generally speaking what the job entails. We've been very successful in the 11 years I've been here. We have moved that target, might be a bit remiss to say the actual numbers, but we've moved that target up 200 grand. But we are now needing to find some different lines and some different ways to bring revenue in.
Well, there you mentioned new lines of income. I guess Wembley the other week provided that, didn't it? Brilliant occasion for the club. I guess it was a brilliant occasion for you as well. Obviously, you're up in the Royal Box, weren't you, for when we lifted the trophy, which must have been amazing for you. But in terms of the club as well, did we make the most of Wembley,
Well, I mean, again, I'm sure, individuals would say we could have maybe done more, but what I can tell you here is a little bit about how we planned for that. You know some of that, but maybe the people watching, the viewers, might not know that. So when we'll start perhaps with the business side of it. My personal day was fantastic, which we'll come on to, but I think when we look at the semi-final, I believe that we planned, and could have been, some people said, oh, you might have been a bit cocky as such, but we had the t-shirts and the designs planned already and the buttons ready to be pushed on the badges and everything of the Wembley merch before the semi-final. The orders would have been cancelled if we failed, but the order was ready to go and the button was pushed as soon as our semi-final against Woking was confirmed that we'd qualified. And the reason for that was because we literally, as you again know, we had, and everybody knows, we had the 1 month to maximise sales. I think a great deal of credit should go to the staff, in particular Michael, who done all the designs for the shirts and all the merchandise, but yourself, myself, Cheryl, and many of us were doing it with extra hours with no pay. We were happy to do it. We were opening on a Saturday, and it was a great buzz, that build up, which leads into a little bit of the personal thing, because I know the actual day can pass you by quite quickly, and I wanted to enjoy the build up as much as possible. And one thing I loved about the shop was everyone came in with a smile on their face. Yep. Everybody was happy, and they were buying the merch. And the last Saturday before the Sunday even, we got absolutely ransacked. People were just buying bits and pieces. So did we make the most of it? We certainly tried to. We then looked at some post Wembley merch, and I know that some people maybe that's not come out as quick, but we have a year to sell that. We're the winners, so we're going to be the winners until May next year. So that merch is slowly coming in, so those deliveries will go out. So we have tried to get as much post-Wembley stuff out, which I think was successful, and now the pre-Wembley stuff, and now the post-Wembley stuff is in for us to sell as well. We've also, through some foresight, the auctions that I've been doing, somebody said we're selling off the silver. We're not selling off the silver. It was carefully thought out. Most professional footballers now get 2 shirts for every game that they play. We do that for our league games, except we wash them and give them 2 again. But these were going to be special Wembley shirts. We had 2 shirts prepared, and one of them was for, someone's just tried to come in. One of them was for the player themselves, and one of them, of course, was for us to then auction. and we've raised some significant money on that. It has set us back in a little bit in terms of time, and what I mean by that is we're still doing the Wembley stuff now, trying to cash in on it, and I really must get my act together and renewing some boards and banners. So it's all go. So to answer your question, I think we did the best we can on it. One other mention, which I think might be a question that the fans want to know, why didn't we do a special kit for the day? As you know, we did discuss that, but we wouldn't have had an individual kit made in time, so it would have been an off the peg red kit, because you just can't do one in 4 weeks. We have a bespoke kit, as you well know again. So we wouldn't have been able to do one in time. And secondly, we thought we needed to reward the people that had purchased the shirt, and this was the shirt that we played in all season. And I, for one, was over the moon that we covered our section of Wembley in red and blue. So that's your answer to your question. Did we make the most of it? I think we did, or we tried to.
Yeah.
Personally, I had the one of my best days, if not, well, certainly one of the top 3 days I've ever had with Aldershot. I was lucky. You mentioned the Royal Box. I was meant to be at the back of the Royal Box, but such as my day, I arrived late because Box Park was so good. I didn't want to leave it.
Yeah.
All our fans in Box Park were brilliant, and I know they were brilliant in other places. But the very, very front row, next to my sister, who I got involved with the club, there was a space. I believe it may have been from the previous game.
Yeah.
So I plonked myself in there waiting to get turfed out, and I never got turfed out. So I was right front row next to my sister, and what a great experience that was, just literally being able to shake hands with the players as they lifted the trophy. One of the best days of my football life.
Well, you touched in the answer there a lot about time constraints. You mentioned it about the pre-Wembley stuff, which was a real struggle. It's also something that happens a lot in your job, isn't it? Obviously, we're going to have the fixtures released soon, the 9th, so it's just a month before the season starts, isn't it? So after that month, when you finally know what games are where, it's chaos for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the small gripes I have. I give the chairman some jip a little bit because he's on the board, but one of the gripes I have with the National League is that, the Enterprise National League now, we need to use the sponsors, is that we don't have enough time. We're a professional league now, and we're a very professional club, and to have 1 month to arrange the games, and I get that the Premiership have to come out first, but they're out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So in a modern world with computers, I think we could get our fixtures out a bit earlier. Having said that, it's another exciting time. The games come out, and then it's, of course, who wants to sponsor that game? Who wants to sponsor this game? When's the Southend game? When's this game? And everybody then comes on. You're doing some work at the moment with player sponsorships, with player sign-ins, which leads to player sponsorships, and I'm getting inquiries about those. So it's non-stop. This is, in the first 3 months of my financial year, which starts the 1st of July, I'll probably do 50% of the target. So that kind of shows or tells the viewers of how busy the front loading of the season is. Everyone's buying their boards, banners, sponsoring a player, getting their match sponsorships in. So it's a busy time, but exciting times as well. It's great when we sign a new player and we get an inquiry about it. It's great when we get them fixtures come in. Oh, we're there, we're here. Oh, I'd like to sponsor that game. Can I have this game? So no complaints, just it's busy times.
As we're talking about the off-season, obviously it's a break for some of our supporters and our players as well, but it's not so much for us behind the scenes, is it, as we all know? Recently, something that we've done is the kit release. It's a much longer process though, isn't it? It's not just something that kind of comes out on the day. We plan it through, we plan the process of getting that kit as well. So talk us through a bit about that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought the kit up, because I think we're never going to keep everybody happy about kits, and we've got some exciting things to say today, but probably teasers in the end. But I'm aware that it's just emotive. It's like you like it, I don't. It's one of those situations. But what I would like to maybe reassure the viewers is of the process and that things are done with a reason. And when you start deciding a new kit, that process probably starts in November of the previous year. So we started looking at some designs in November. We narrowed those designs down to about 3. You came with us. We went and had we went over and met Araya,
Yep.
put the finishing touches to some of them, and we also discussed some exciting kits which I'm going to touch on later for the 100 year. And then we bring those kits, we bring those designs back, we sit around the table again, and then there's it's not a committee, but there's a group of us who have a look. We have a look at our experience, knowing the club, where we are, what kits we've had before, and a decision is made on the kit. And the new kit, which I actually think the blue shorts set off the shirt a little bit better. So we've changed the shorts from going all red, we've gone back to the blue shorts. Was chosen. It's a little bit, it could be classed as a little bit out there. You know, the sort of, and I'm glad that some people have recognised it. It is a bit of a nod to the Phoenix, the wings and the flames. But it's a little bit out there. And we thought that if you were going to go out there, it's time to do it when you've only got the kit for 1 year. We've got a very special set of kits coming next year. So just to finish off that, it was designed. So there's been a thought process. We've got this kit for 1 year. Let's experiment a bit. Let's be a little flamboyant. We haven't gone mad, but let's be a little bit flamboyant with the kit. And it's gone down. Some of us were a bit, worried about how it would go down, especially after traditional kits with the stripes. But it's actually gone down well, and in the first week the sales have been up, so or more than what we expected. So we're delighted with that. The teaser part of it is, as again, I've got to stop saying as you know, but I work with you, so you do know, we have already started work on the centenary kits. So one of the things which we might get labelled a little bit of constructive criticism at us is that we're going to have 3 new kits next year. So I'm warning our fans that we're going to have 3 new kits next year. So we have only chosen to have 1 change this year. That's the reason we're continuing with the black and continuing with the yellow, because we know that next year it could be harder. But we feel that there is a need for special kits next year, of which the away kit and the 3rd kit will last 2 years, but the home kit again will be a one-off centenary kit. We haven't put the final details to them again yet. They're exciting. I think they'll go down very well, and we're going to try and launch them at different stages next year. I don't want to commit too much just in case some of those plans go wrong, but the majority of what I've said we're working on now, and that's your point, that we're working on them now. We've launched a new kit which we're not even worn, and we're working on the 100-year kits, and I do believe that the fans will like the ideas behind each kit, even if they don't like the actual design of the kit.
Well, part of the kit release we've just seen was obviously we made a big deal out of the Bridges extension. They've been with us for a long time now, and we've got a lot of sponsors that have been with us for a long time. You look at our big hitters, I guess you could call them, like the likes of Bridges, EBB, Collard, Natter, Elm, and etc. They're vital that we have these long-standing relationships with these people, isn't it?
Yeah, again, so there is a process of, why don't we get new sponsors? Why don't we get? But we work really hard with our sponsors throughout the year to keep them. It's not just a case of us sitting down saying, "Oh, we've got them now; they're going to stay there forever." These people don't. I think that they like the fact that we engage them. We try to bring people together. One of the skill sets that our chairman has got is networking. And what he tries to do is we try to put people in touch with each other and build a group of sponsors. So you've said them, like Elm have been here for at least 5-6 years, probably longer. And I might be doing some of these disservice. Collard's long term, Natter long term, Group 1 BMW long term, Charters long term, EBB. I think were sponsors when we went into the Football League or shortly after, and that's 2008. And they've been around for a long time. So all of these sponsors, we work quite hard throughout the year to have a relationship with, to continue that. I'm delighted that have extended through to the 100-year kit. I think they deserve to be on the shirt for the 100-year kit for their support that they've given us. And they're not saying that that's the end of it. We've just done the agreement up towards the end of the 100-year kit. And I will just say this may bite me a little bit. I'm never convinced until you've signed, but we are speaking to a really exciting new big partner, a big brand, to sponsor the East Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can get that sponsor over the line, but again, so that people know, that sponsorship deal was being spoke about before Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's been a slow burner, something that we've brought to a head, and we think we're more optimistic about getting that deal over the line. So again, it just gives an idea that to the public that you don't just knock the door and then get the order. These are quite long processes to get it. But I am optimistic, and it'd be very exciting.
Yeah.
It'd be one for you to announce.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we talk about the kind of, as we said, big hitters there, maybe the longer processes, but I think the main thing we always say in our releases and advertisements of it is we genuinely do have a very diverse range of sponsorship opportunities, don't we? It's not just for those big companies. If you've got a smaller, more local company, there's pitch side boards, mesh banners. Even, for example, we're going to put out soon, aren't we? And maybe even before we release this one, but the programme square, it's £25 a pop, isn't it? So there's things for everyone out there.
Yeah, I mean, you've pretty much done my job for me there, which I'm grateful. But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, one of the things which I just want to mention, that the in with the shot is £2.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a slogan, it's less than the price of a cup of coffee, but it actually is. And that's been one of the most successful sort of, there used to be a scheme called Cash for Shots, which was started by previous people, which was brilliant. I haven't tried to usurp that. I've tried to use that and bring that into slightly more modern with the price changes and do the prizes a bit different. We've paid out £85,000 to people in prize money, right, in 250 weeks, and we've raised £85,000, and we don't have a very high percentage of people playing in with the shot.
Yeah.
So if people are watching it and you know your income's not as good as you'd want and money's a bit tight, in with the shot's a great way of just supporting the club, as little as £2. You've said the pitch squares, which are £25, and then we go up to a lot of companies that have boards and banners around and spend £2,000 to £5,000 with us, sponsor a match, or maybe just you could bring a party for your birthday and have a party in the lounge, and just come up once a year and have a party of 10. You know, we love it if you come up in the lounge. We try and make that an enjoyable experience, even if the football hasn't gone quite to plan. So there are a number of ways that you can get involved, whether you're a large company and want to spend some thousands of pounds with us, or whether you're just a small guy who loves Aldershot and loves the red and blue. You can show your support in many ways. And I actually just want to say to you, thank you to all of the sponsors, however big and however small you are, all those people that do help the club. The money goes straight into the club, and then invariably, that goes on the first team. That's our biggest outlay, and so it should be. We try to get the best players that our revenue can bring in, and that's the process. And it starts all over again every single year. And on the 1st of July whilst we're selling some bits now for next year, the 1st of July is when it officially starts to start all over again. So.